People buy books, but they don't read them all. And even if they read the books, they don't read them with focus. And even if they read them with focus, sometimes they have a problem with remembering what they read. And the reason why that happens is many times when people read a book, they don't have a proper plan. And in this video, you're going to learn how you can read in such a way that you can have better focus, better comprehension, and better retention. So there are three steps of reading. Number one is the pre-reading. Number two is the actual reading, and number three is what is called as the post-reading. So pre-reading is what you do before you actually start the reading session, and that's a very important thing. And then you have the actual reading session, which is what most people do, just that and nothing else. And then you got what is called as a post-reading session, which is what you do after you finish your reading session. So let's see what are the few steps that you can do in each of these stages. Number one is pre-reading. And in pre-reading, the objective is getting into the zone. You need to get into the zone before you actually start reading. And how do you get into the zone? Simple, it's by spending 3 minutes and doing what is called as a preview. Now, what is a preview? Spend 3 minutes and quickly browse through the pages that you're about to read in that reading session. And while you're browsing, just pay attention to any section in the text that is highlighted in any way. Maybe there's a text in different font, maybe there's a text that is in a box, or maybe there's a text on the column. So any text that is highlighted in any way, you would just have a quick glance at it. Now here, the objective is not to remember, the objective is not to comprehend, the objective is to just get into the reading zone, and that's all you need to do. Now, what about those books that do not have any highlighted text? In which case, you just simply browse through the information and just quickly see what is it that you're about to read in that reading session. Well, that's it. It just takes 3 minutes. But this 3 minutes is very, very important before you get into the step number two, which is actual reading session. Now, in the actual reading session, the objective is focus and comprehension. So you have to read with focus and you have to read with comprehension. That means you have to understand what is it that you're reading and how can you do that? Couple of ideas. Number one is what is called as single tasking. Now, every time you're reading, just make sure you are just reading and nothing else. That means there's no phone, there's no internet, there's no other distractions or interruptions. You just focus on one thing, which is reading, and one thing only. In fact, here's a video I talked about the importance of single tasking over multitasking. You might want to check that out. After single tasking, the next thing that you need to do during the reading session is highlighting. So all you need to do is to take a pen or a highlighter, and as you are reading, when you see something which is kind of a main idea, something which is very important, just underline the main ideas as you are reading. Now, this is a couple of advantages. Number one is it actually helps you to be present while you're reading. Now, how many times it happened to you that you're reading, your eyes are moving across the pages, but your mind is somewhere else? Now, why does this happen? It happens because your mind keeps on wandering, but when you highlight, actually helps you to be present and also helps you to comprehend the information better, because you need to process and understand, hey, shall I highlight this or not? Is this an important idea or not? So that actually helps you with understanding as well. The other advantage of highlighting is, say a week later or a month later or even a year later, when you come back to this book and you look at this page, you already see some highlighted information, and you know that these are some important information that you might want to go through again. So that's the reason why you should do this thing. So that is where the reading session actually happens. And remember, the objective of the reading session is focus and comprehension. If you're not able to focus, that means the session is not successful. If you're not able to comprehend, that means the session is not successful. So that's one, that's two, and now we've got the last section, and this is where your long-term retention comes from. So number one was pre-reading, number two was reading, and number three is the post-reading. And the objective of post-reading is retention. This is where you do what is required by you to make sure you remember the information for a long time. And how do you do that? This is where my favorite technique comes into play, which is what is called as the output principle. Now, there's a video here, you might want to check it out, which talks about the output principle in detail. Now, it's not just important to read the information, that's very important, but then it also is very important to process the information and also remember the information and implement the information that you read from a book. And that is where the output principle comes into play. So how do you do the output? Here are a couple of ideas. Number one is summary. After you finish reading one chapter in the book, take a few moments and mentally recollect what is it that you have learned from that chapter and write a summary of that chapter from your memory without referring the book. Now, if you're able to do that, fantastic. Now you can go to the next step. And if you fail in writing a summary, what does it mean? It just simply means that you already forgot the main ideas within just the last few minutes. So in which case, it's okay. What you need to do is you just go back to the highlighted sections and just go through the information that you highlighted and go back and do the summary. So after you do the summary for each chapter, now when you finally come to the end of the book, then what you need to do is just review all the summaries that you've done so far and share the information to someone else. This is where teaching comes in, because you might have heard this: the best way to learn something is to teach it or share it or discuss it with someone else. So take a few minutes time, review all the highlighted areas, review all the summary that you've written, and then just take some time and teach the information with someone else. So there you have it. You've got the pre-reading where you got into the zone, and you got the actual reading where you focused and you had comprehension, and then you had the post-reading where you actually did the required work for you to remember the information for a long time. So the next time you read something, just make sure you do the pre-reading, reading, and the post-reading. That way you'll be able to read with focus, comprehension, and retention. Now, if you like this video, just click on the like button and let me know what you think about this video in the comment section. And if you think this video is good, please share it with your friends and networks and contacts and groups. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, click on the subscribe button and click on the bell icon, so every time I post a new video, you get notified.